My high school years, it was kind of just getting by. I was really excited to go to college. I remember graduating 8th grade and being like, oh, I have to go to high school, I just want to go to college. I felt like really stuck there, and it was lonely. I felt really alone. I wanted to get it over with because those were really hard years, so. I didn't want the attention. I didn't want to be necessarily admired or like the popular crowd. I didn't really want that, but I didn't want to be looked at and made fun of. And I think that was more so my fear. I didn't have a problem with anybody. I was friends with everybody, and that's where I was just comfortable. But like deep down, I went home and, I did all those horrible things to myself. I just felt, like I said, out of place in that school, and I kind of wanted to find a place where I could fit in and be happy with myself and have other people look at me and be like, wow, she's really perfect, I guess. And like thinking about that now is so cringeworthy to be like, wow, I want everyone to think I'm perfect. But in your mind, that's what you want. Like, you want people to like you. You want people to look at you and be like, wow, like I want to be friends with her. And I think I was just craving that so badly, I would have done anything for it. And yeah, so that's how I got to that point. Everyone around me was like, wow, you're so skinny, but they weren't saying it like, wow, you look great. They were like, you're so skinny, like, wow, you should eat a burger, like you should do something. And I was like, wow, I love that. I love hearing that, and I loved hearing it. I loved hearing I was skinny. I loved it, and it just that fed me more and more. I was like, wow, yes, it's working, like it's working fast. And it's just that was just feeding the eating disorder, and I loved hearing it. And I think that's just what kept me going. And I loved seeing my ribs. I loved seeing just no fat on my body, and everyone was looking at me, and I knew it. Everyone was like, whoa, there's something wrong. There's something wrong. My mom would come up to me and she goes, are you not eating? What are you doing? And I'm like, no, I'm eating. I'm good. I'm just losing weight. I'm working out. No, I wasn't working out. It was all lies and lies and lies. At that point, I didn't really notice it was a problem. And like I said, at first it was, I knew it, and I was ashamed, and I was ashamed for a long time. And I did it once a week, and that was it. I would do it once a week, and I was like, okay, that's my fix for the week, whatever. And then it started happening. I was like, every single day, I had to do it. And then every single meal, I had to do it. And no one knew. And I didn't think anything of it. I was like, okay, they don't have to know. I'm fine. I'm losing weight. I'm healthy. I'm fine. They don't have to know. Why do they have to know? And I didn't want them to stop me at the same time. I knew that in the back of my head. If they did know, they'd stop me. And I was like, I can't stop. It's what's making it go away. It's making it do it faster. I can't go on a run and lose 5 pounds. I can't. So one day I woke up and I was forcing myself to vomit, and I woke up and I was passed out, and there were EMTs, and there were people around me, and it was all hazy, and I was like, what is going on? I'm dreaming. So I was like, all right, I'll go back to sleep. And then I woke up in a hospital, and I was like, where am I? Why am I here? What's wrong with me? And everyone around me was crying, and I just didn't know why. And I had a feeding tube, and I was confined because I was considered suicidal. And I had found out I had severe liver damage, and I had lost most of my hair, and I was really, really sick, and I didn't know. But all I could focus on in that moment was the feeding tube, and I was like, I gotta get this out. I gotta get this out. I don't want to gain the weight back. So I was screaming. I was like, get this out, get this out. I can't gain weight. I can't do it. And my mom just looked at me, and she's like, who are you? Why are you doing this? And yeah, she was really upset. And, you know, you look at somebody who's doing that, and it's sad, and it's like, why would you want to rip out a feeding tube? It's saving your life, but to me, I felt like it was killing me. And I was like, why am I upset? It's saving my life. He's telling me I have severe liver damage, but I just didn't want to gain the weight, and that was more important. So, yeah. I was considered suicidal, and at that point I didn't have a choice. I wasn't allowed to go back to school, I wasn't allowed to leave, and at that point I had to go to counseling. So I think getting to that point where I wasn't allowed to have a choice, I hate that. I would recommend anybody not to get to that point, to where you don't have a choice, because you could die and you could get sick still. So thankfully, I was given a therapist who was amazing, and I was extremely open to having therapy. But I think talking to my mom after, who was just so disappointed, because she didn't raise me to be that way. And my mom is like not the skinniest person ever, but she is so comfortable in her body, and she's a personal trainer. And she just raised me to believe that my body's beautiful. She always told me, like, you're so beautiful, you're always so beautiful. And it's like, how could I let her down? And I think I just wanted to be a better role model for my sister. So I just wanted to change my life, and I needed to find myself, and I was willing to do what I had to do to find that happy place. Just to like have that counseling was exactly what I needed. I've never had counseling before, and it was good to really release my demons, because I had a lot, and I had these body image issues since I was 8. Just looking in a mirror and being like, what is this? Like, I was athletic, I played softball, like, I don't know. And then like being around girls at school, like other girls calling other girls fat or whatever, that was like, I don't want to ever be called that, you know. But I think just like having that fear and like building up those demons to really take a toll on somebody, and just to like be able to just express how I feel to somebody and have them understand, and to have them like help me through it and get me through it. And also the hotlines that NEDA, National Eating Disorder Awareness, ANAD, those kinds of organizations, they have hotlines, and I use those. I use them all the time. They're free, and you could always just call them and talk to them all the time. And I still do. Every time I'm feeling low, I'll just call them, and I'll talk for like an hour, and they'll listen to me, and they'll help me through it. And I think just having those resources is what really gets me through. That's what I live for now, is knowing that I could have died that day, but I have a whole life to live now, and I have a lot to live for. So, and so does everybody else, you know. They have to remember that you have so many memories you still have to make. You have to graduate, you have to have a family, you get to travel and see the world, and experience having a big person job, and just you won't get to do those things. You'll be stuck in that sad body, and you won't be here, and that's what people will remember you, and that's scary. I wanna make a name for myself, and I wanna be an inspiration, and I wanna do things for people, and I wanna be a lot bigger than what I am, and yeah, I want to live my life.